Hi, everybody, and welcome to the PlantStock channel. My name is Jesse, and today we actually have three news items to focus on. So I hope you're ready for this. And if there are parts of these news that you're not that interested in, you don't need to worry. I'm going to provide you with some timestamps down in the description. So just move into whatever you're most interested in. The first company we're going to focus on is the Very Good Food Company and their acquisition of the Rupert facility in Vancouver. And then our second news is going to be Beyond Meat and take a look at how they help consumers to kickstart the new year with a better for you breakfast. And the third news is going to be a really quick news about Else Nutrition that they've received the Canadian patent for an infant and toddler formulation composition. All right, guys, so this is what we're going to focus on tonight. So stay tuned. And as always, guys, before we start with the news, I would ask you to please subscribe to the channel if you want to keep getting news and information regarding your favorite plant-based stock. And I would really appreciate an early thumbs up since it really does help the channel grow and reach a larger audience. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you. Now, if we begin with the Very Good Food Company, and let's take a look at the stock chart here, we can see that there's been a lot of volatility and action with this stock as of late, and it's not so weird. But we can see that the last couple of days, it's really blown up again. It's been down to $5.40, and now it's reaching that all-time high soon again, $9. And I expect us to maybe be there soon again. And this is probably related to all the good news that the Very Good Food Company has gotten as of late. They just found out that it might be buying a plant-based cheese company and start mass producing that. And then they're expanding into Eastern Canada into Sobeys retail network. And now we have some more good news. And even though this is some good news, it's not really like news to many of us, considering that we've been expecting that they were going to open the Rupert facility in Q1. And that's basically what they're about to do now. And as we know, it's going to be able of producing up to 37 million pounds of annualized product in comparison to the Victoria facility that only produces about 1.4 million pounds per year. So that will probably really help with the overall revenue. And it's going to be interesting to see where they'll be at in the end of this year. And I haven't mentioned this before, but what I find very interesting is that this facility is a former plant-based operator, Dia Foods, that had the Rupert facility before. It's approximately 45,000 square feet. And most of the things that they need to produce plant-based food is already in-house, which is also something where they're going to save a lot of money on. There are some minor things that they need to do and upgrade before they start using the facility, but it doesn't seem to be a problem as of yet. As it says here, quote, equipment for the first production line will start to arrive in late January, with commissioning to begin in late February and food production to commence shortly thereafter. The facility is anticipated to be fully operational in the second quarter of 2021, and capacity will be systematically scaled upwards over the following months. And what I find really fascinating is that this facility was a former Dia Foods facility, which is plant-based dairy and cheese, right? And considering that Very is moving into the cheese business, the dairy business, as they've been planning all along, this will more than likely facilitate that process, making it that much easier without any bigger upgrades. As Mitchell Scott, the CEO, commented, custody of the Rupert facility represents our first significant milestone in 2021. Over the last couple of years, our ability to meet consumer demand has been restricted due to capacity constraints. The Rupert facility allows us to increase the availability and reach of our products to consumers not only in Canada, but also in the United States, though both our retail and our e-commerce sales channels. We are excited about all of the potential opportunities this milestone creates. I think it's important to highlight, though, that not everything is all in the clear. As it says here, commissioning of the Rupert facility is dependent on, among other things, the mitigation of identified operational risks such as, but not limited to, onboarding the necessary labor and expertise, securing new wholesale relationships, and meeting COVID-19 protocols going forward. And I imagine this is quite standard when acquiring a facility of this size, or any size probably. You have to really look at the risk. Guys, please, let's get some interaction going here. How do you feel about this? What kind of revenues do you expect us to see in 2021, considering the Rupert facility? And also some old but good news is that Ana Silva has started now and taken her role as the company president. And as we know, she's the former CFO of Daya, so she should feel right at home here, I'm guessing. And also, as we have been expecting, Brian Greenleaf has stepped down from the company in his role as Chief Operating Officer, effective January 31st, 2021. And at the same time, they're hiring a new person, which is Kyle Marenkas, who's been appointed Director of Marketing with his employment commencing January 18, 2021. And Kyle, apparently, like most of the team, seems to have an extensive background in the right area. For him, it's a pedigree in the food and beverage industry, where he spent the last 6 years as the Director of Marketing with Earth's Own Food Company, Inc. So like I stated before, this isn't really news. It's a lot of updates only, but it's good to hear that they're on track. I think that makes a lot of investors feel secure. And then, who knows, that might actually lead to a lot of people buying in even more. But for now, guys, let's move on to the next bit of news, which is Beyond Meat. But before we get into the news with Beyond, let's take a look at the stock chart. Ticker symbol BYND. And as I think we're familiar with, the last month or so, or the last couple of months since the quarterly earnings, we could see the stock moving and falling down more and more quite steadily. And I think most of us know what it's related to. As of late, they were downgraded by one of the investment banks. Impossible Food has been slashing their prices, making their products a bit cheaper. And people overall are worried about the next quarterly report and the overall competition that people seem to be really worried about. So now to the article. Beyond Meat inspires consumers to kickstart the new year with a better for you breakfast. So what this article is basically about is that Beyond Meat is teaming up with a couple of different restaurants around the US at the moment. And what they're doing is that they're giving out free samples of their food in forms of breakfasts. As their Chief Growth Officer says, at Beyond Meat, we know that small changes can have a big impact on both our health and the health of our planet. And we want to inspire people to make those better choices, starting with the first and most important meal of the day. We're thrilled to partner with local restaurants to offer consumers our delicious and better for you breakfast options, no sacrifice required. Now, you might think it's strange that they're actually giving out free samples of their food and giving people free food in these different restaurants around the US, right? But it's actually not really news when it comes to Ethan Brown, the CEO of Beyond Meat. If any of you remember when the pandemic started, Beyond Meat gave away over 1 million burgers to feed healthcare workers. As the article here stated, we at Beyond Meat feel a deep responsibility to give back by providing access to good, nourishing meals at no cost. And this just stands to show what we've been talking about when it comes to Ethan Brown, that he's not just about the profits or the money, he's about helping people and helping the planet becoming more sustainable. But obviously, I think it's also a smart publicity move, a way to strengthen the brand even more, in my opinion. More people would try it, get a taste, and the news will cover the brand. Free publicity. Great way to start off the year. I mean, really. Great promotion, making more people aware of what you eat, how it affects your health and the planet. I mean, especially after a New Year's Eve, people have these New Year's resolutions about health, changing their lives, will be more easily facilitated when you choose this kind of food, right? They'll think about the health and connect with Beyond. They'll see the whole brand thing. Now, I think this will work in favor for Beyond. Now, guys, I hope you don't misunderstand my interpretation here and my way of seeing it. It's not that I have a grim view of the world. I just feel like just because you're doing something good for the planet and for people doesn't mean that it can't be connecting with profits as well. Guys, let's interact again a little here. What's your opinion on this? Do you think this is a smart move by Beyond Meat? All right, guys, so that was it when it comes to Beyond Meat. We're moving on to the last part of this. This takes us to Else Nutrition Holdings, ticker symbol BABY, or in the OTC, babyf. Now, if we first take a look at the stock chart, we can see that Else the last couple of days have actually gone down a couple of steps here. Nothing major, but it could also be related to not very much news coming out. This might not be news to all of you, but if you didn't know, Else Nutrition is basically an Israeli company, but it's based in Canada. Yet, to my understanding, they haven't really been selling their products in Canada yet because they've been waiting for the patent to actually become approved. And that seems to have happened right now. So Else Nutrition receives Canadian patent for infant and toddler formulation composition. And quite basically, this means that they're allowed to start selling their products to toddlers and babies in Canada without any problems. And some of you might have been aware of this, but when it comes to plant-based nutrition and nutrition for babies and toddlers, that's been an ongoing problem in the world because the governments feel that if you use plant-based food, it might not have the necessary proteins, amino acids, and other nutrients needed in the food. Obviously, if there's any vegans out there, you know this is not true. It's just about the knowledge, right? The CEO of Else had this to say: "The growth of our intellectual property portfolio in the Canadian market is timely as we get set to expand our North American presence," stated Hamutal Yitzhak, CEO and co-founder of Else. "Our plant-based formulation has functional and meaningful applications to a wide range of potential consumer markets, which will remain laser-focused on the launch of our baby products. Our IP can also help serve the rapidly growing 3 billion plant-based food market in Canada, giving consumers nutritious, clean label, whole food-based offerings." Personally, I feel this is a good sign since the CEO has been talking for quite some time that they're going to expand into North America, and we know that they're already on their way there. Considering that they're moving into Sprouts Market, which was about 360 stores in February, and now they got a patent in Canada, which means that they can expand into Canada as well. This, to me, kind of proves that this is a company we can count on, right? It's a CEO who doesn't only talk, she walks the talk, she gets things done, and that's what I've seen with her so far, and it is impressive. I really am excited about following their journey. Guys, what do you feel about this news? So guys, that was it for today. I hope you got some value from these 3 different news items, and if you did, please smash that like button. And if you want to keep being updated on these 3 different plant-based stocks or other plant-based stocks, please subscribe. As always, guys, this is not financial advice. Do your own due diligence. This is just my own personal ideas and opinions. Hope to see you soon. Peace out.